Here on the Trading Coach podcast, we talk a lot about accelerating your wealth, not just through trading, but by finding other forms of supplemental income as well. Well, an easy way to do that is by sharing your story by using Spotify for podcasting. Not only do they allow you to record and edit right from your phone or computer, but they'll also shoot it out everywhere that podcasts are heard and even pay you to do it, which still doesn't make sense, but hey, we'll take it, right? Video podcasts are also available as well, which is a really cool option if you're into sharing your charts and stuff like that. Best of all, it's free. So as someone who measures risk reward for a living, this is a no-brainer. So if you're ready to create, don't wait. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app right now, or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started. Speaking of getting started, let's get started with the show. Hey guys, Akil here. Welcome back to the Trading Coach podcast. If you've been a follower of mine, whether it's on the podcast or maybe YouTube or maybe even part of Tier 1 trading, you will often hear me preach the power of consistency, right? You want to do the right things, deliberate things over and over again. You want to be methodical. You want to be mechanical. That is the best way to get things done. But you also hear me preach growth mindset, and growth mindset means that we're always curious, we're always asking questions, we're always looking to learn, and in a way, we're always looking to change. So how can we team consistency, which is doing something the same way, with growth mindset, which is changing? Don't they kind of contradict? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode of the Trading Coach podcast. Brennan says, Akil, here's the same question. You don't have to answer today. Okay, next question. But what are the pros and cons of trading the same way for so many years as you say? Consistency? I answered that right away. You will get an answer today. I should read the rest of the question first, but let's do this. You don't have to answer today, but what are the pros and cons of trading the same way for so many years? One is consistency, right? Let me ask you guys this, right? Why is McDonald's still in business? They have a formula and a system, and it works. And it's tried and tested and proven, and it works. Now, there are small changes that are made to it, right? There are small changes that made to it, right? When it used to be just burgers. And again, I'm not going to claim credit officially because I don't know this, but I believe I'm the one that started to have it your way. Because as a kid, I only demanded a plain cheeseburger, like no pickles, no onions, no ketchup, no whatever like that. So again, I had to wait in McDonald's for like 30 minutes because it was an assembly line, right? They didn't make stuff back there; it was already made, and it went through the chute, and they handed it out and gave it to you. So for a little kid to come in and want a plain one, that disrupted the entire system. Like seriously, they had to stop. It would take me like 30 minutes just to get a plain burger, right? Because they had to wait until everything else was done and have someone make it for me. And I swear that I'm one of the ones, because I suppose I'm not the only one that ordered a plain burger, but I got to be one of the only weirdos to do that. I'm one of the ones that encouraged at least the local McDonald's with me growing up to kind of not make everything make it quote unquote fresh. It's not fresh, but make it as you order, right? But they have a system. They make changes. So they make changes where it's like, hey, instead of making everything pre-made, we're going to have some stuff pre-made, and we're going to make some stuff, quote unquote, fresh. So once you order it, when people started getting more health conscious, they introduce salads, they introduce chicken, right? You can see, they did stuff where it's like, oh, people are going to come to fast food restaurants in the morning. Let's give breakfast options. Let's give pancakes. Let's give waffles, tater tots. Let's put in the fake meat burgers. What are they called? I forgot the name of them. But you guys know what I'm talking about. The not the veggie burgers, beyond burgers and stuff like that. Where it's like, okay, now we have vegan, vegetarian friendly options. So you make these small changes to the top of the cupcake, if you may. The icing may be different, but how you make the cupcake is always the same, right? And it's tested, time tested, proven. It works. So how do I trade the same way is for that same reason. I don't want to say, so I am in trading to make money, right? Trading is a business for me. Don't get me wrong. I love trading. I have a passion for trading. I have an interest for trading. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I hate this, but I just do it because I'm good at it. No, like I actually love what I do. I'm actually intrigued by the market. I do believe, and this is debatable, but I do believe that you have to have a certain amount of pure love and interest in trading to get good at it. Because I think it's going to be very, very hard to kind of get through the stages and the phases and the ups and downs of what it takes to be good if you don't actually love it. You'd probably move on because it's very stressful. And typically, if you don't love something, you don't do what's necessary to make it work, right? Same with relationships, right? If you really love your partner and you have these ups and downs, you kind of do what you need to do to work through it. You go to marriage counseling or you do this, you make sacrifices. If you don't, you kind of just let it die. I think trading is very similar. The cool thing about trading is that does it get boring? Yes. My trading, like advanced patterns are extremely boring for me. Someone asked me the question on YouTube the other day, Akil, do you still trade advanced pattern formations? Because I don't see them in many of your trading edge videos anymore. I'm like, I do. I get tired of showing them because it's pretty simple. I draw like 5 lines and it's there. I draw out 5 lines and put a few fibs on and it's there, right? They're boring. They're simple. It doesn't take much brain space to do. But they make money and they've consistently made money for me. So I keep trading them. So there is that boring aspect, and it is a good thing when trading gets boring because it means you're doing stuff the same way. But the cool thing about trading is that it's a never-ending journey. So not only are you always finding out new things about the things you are currently trading. We've had this conversation before about how your eyes adapt, and once they get accustomed to seeing one thing, it opens up space to see another thing. So not only are you learning new things about your system, right? Even the walkthrough we just did with the overlapping levels of structure, but there's always new things to explore. And while you're making slow, boring, methodical money with your system, it starts to open up time where you can start venturing down these different projects where it's like, let me study inside bars and learn about this. Or, these breakout patterns look cool. Or, man, what's this indicator really do? So there's always opportunity to kind of tickle that interest bug without necessarily trading it, if that makes sense. So you have your boring stuff, but you have your exciting stuff to kind of offset the boring stuff. And I think that's a really cool combination. The next part of your question, because I only got through the first sentence, was what are the pros and cons of treating trading the same way for so many years? So the cons is, I guess, it gets really, really boring. The pros are, if it makes money, it should keep making money. If you are winning, great. I see no need to change, but can't we always strive to be better? I know you take weeks during the summer and the winter to review, and I thought you said you fine-tune some stuff, but I've been trading the same way for years, spurred the question. So yeah, so I am trading the same way. I might have answered this already. I'm trading the same way, but I'm always evolving that way. So here's the best example I can give you. So I've been a structured trader and CTS trader since 2010, I would say, right? So the first kind of edition of my structure-based trading was price had to be at a major level of structure. Price had to have the RSI overbought or oversold. Price had to have a double bottom or double top. Price had to have RSI divergence with that double bottom or double top. Right? So that was it. There was a massive amount that was needed in order to take that trade. You fast forward to now, some of the same core concepts are there. I'm a structure trader. Price has to be at structure. But what I've developed over the time, or what I've changed over time, I didn't develop it, but what I've changed over time just in time in the market are different things that I pay attention to with trading, right? I can look at rejection candles, pin bars, 3-bar reversals. I can take higher high, higher closes. I can implement volume into it, more so for a target taking thing, but I can implement volume into it. I understand price action patterns better. I understand the RSI better, where I can use the RSI in different ways. So it's the same core concept, right? Making hamburgers, but we're adding different things to it. We can do it differently, and ideally, you can do it in a better way. It's no different than, again, like the development of cars. Cars are the same, right? They got four wheels, and you push the gas, and it goes, right? But over the years, there are these little things sprinkled onto it, which makes the experience better, makes the experience more efficient, and that's what you want to get to in your trading. You want to be able to keep your same core principles and core philosophies on what's important in the market, but evolve it to the next level. And a lot of that is, how can I get better? It may not even be adding a new technique. It could just be getting better with target taking. Two things I've gotten better with over the years is stop placement and target taking, right? I used to have very wide, ridiculous stops because I was very afraid of everything. I used to have very safe, conservative targets because I was very afraid of everything. Over the years, I've gotten better with understanding what levels of structure are safety levels and what levels of structure aren't. So I'm able to tighten up stops beyond levels that I know are important. So basically saying, hey, if this level gets broken, I know I'm wrong. I don't need to waste any more money or risk any more money to know that I'm wrong. And then with target taking, the exact opposite. I've been able to get them a little bit further, where before I was super conservative, where it's like, man, I need my stops or my targets, to be at a place that's going to get hit. But because I've gotten better at analysis over the years, I'm much more efficient at identifying levels. And you guys have seen it in the live room. Like, I don't like to brag at all, but I'm pretty spot on with predictions. If you guys have paid any attention, like, we call things in the live room, like, price action usually goes there, and it in most cases it doesn't go much past there. Which is, in one argument, you can say, like, well, if it doesn't go past there, then you never get like a home run trade, and home run trade's a little bit different. But like, for me to call a level, and for price to like nip that level and then turn around, like, that gives me a lot of pride, because that means I was dead on with my prediction, which means I chose a good level that the market paid attention to. And I've gotten a lot better at that over the years. Pinpoint projections. Where before, I was either leaving too much meat on the bone, taking my target too early, then the market would consistently roll like a million pips past it, and I'd be like, man, I could have had a lot more. Or kind of like Greg's situation, Greg's situation this morning on the chat, where, and not to throw you under the bus, Greg, but just an example, I would consistently have like targets like 5 pips away before beyond where the market reversed at, and I'd be like, oh, damn it, right? So leaving money on the table. So those are the ways that you get better, where you don't necessarily change any of your core beliefs, your core principles. And you can if you want, and that's another thing. You can certainly add, you go to a different style of trading. That's part of the journey as well. But once you have something that works, now it's all about fine-tuning it. How can I make more on average? How can I lose less on average? You can find, how can I get involved in more opportunities? How can I actively manage a trade so that when price action is moving in my favor, I'm able to reduce risk and or lock in profit? It's those very small tweaks that make you a better trader. How can I look at the RSI or the MACD or whatever I'm using for more clues? Is there another filter that I can use to keep me out of bad trades or trades that go against me right away? Those are the small things that you get from time in market, from your daily reviews, from your journaling. And those are the very small things that allow you to become a better trader versus like a full system overhaul. And those are the things that keep it exciting, because you know that there's always something else. I've got a long list of stuff I want to work on. A long list. I have a long list of stuff I have worked on that hasn't worked out yet. But that's what keeps it exciting. That's what, although the execution is boring, the future is not. So a very interesting question. I hope I gave you guys a response that makes sense and really tingles the brain a little bit and really explains kind of the process of developing as a trader. Speaking of developing, we're continuing to try to develop this podcast and grow it and reach more and more people. One way that you can help me do that is by leaving me a rating and a review. It only takes about a minute. Just click those stars, leave a little comment telling me what you like. It is the best way you can support the show. So whatever podcast app you're listening on, if you have a chance, leave me a rating and a review, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of the Trading Coach Podcast.